kind of think it begins to whisper to you.
In weasel?
We can only hope.
Oh my.
Do you speak weasel?
I knew I should have taken weasel as a language.
Unfortunate. However, no, it is in common. The whispers are in common.
Okay.
Speech is difficult. With the defilement, you have done much for us already. We ask to borrow your voice.
This sounds safe.
You're the frickin' weasel Lorax.
Triss the Majestical / Weasel Lorax.
I speak for the weasels.
Yes.
For the weasels have no tongues. And I'm begging you at the top of my lungs.
Knowles have us stretched thin, while Triss sees only the dead. My crossbow skills are no help, as Cain faces them head to head. A vile druid awaits in the halls, amplifying the destruction here. Tracings of the chosen leaking from the walls, the reason for the rot we fear. I release a bolt, he raises his hand. Vile spores begin to feast upon my lungs. My friends act fast, releasing his fetid grip, interrupting death's song as it's sung. Triss scorches the druid, and I gasp for breath. Was this druid our bringer of death?
Hello and welcome to another episode of PeakD&D. We are PeakD&D, and we are picking up where we left off last week with a dead druid's body hitting the floor in the middle of the soggiest, dampest dungeon you've ever been in. But, you know, it's early days. You're only level 4. All right, so you investigated the town's formerly cold storage, found a lot of spoiled food and a lot of melted permafrost, along with a flock of diseased ice weasel spirits who decided to nibble on Cain for a while. Beat them up along with some nasty hyena people, and yeah, that's where we left off. You've beaten that druid who was getting up to nonsense here, and you've just sort of taken a breath after that, and what would you like to do?
I would like to borrow some dice or go get all of mine that are in my bag. Thanks, man.
All right. What else would we like to do?
May hell be with me.
We have the bucket of dice.
Oh, I mean, all of mine are in my bag. I just looked
And a
like looking
D30,
down,
would
and I
that
was
help?
Like, oh, crap.
You are rolling D30s for everything.
Dax. You tell me, will a D30 help us in this world?
Depends on the level of whimsy, I feel.
Have we searched this guy's body?
I don't think that you have.
I don't have anything written down.
Yeah, I think we were waiting on that.
Right.
Do we believe he's connected to anything going on in town?
He
Or
knows
is he just
a little
a
bit about
weirdo?
a lot of weird stuff going on.
This guy that we just
Yeah,
killed?
no, he was like pulling the magic out of
I
the
think he
walls and
had a
stuff.
whole lot, maybe.
This cat's eye, was this the helm set?
The tigers. Tigers.
Tiger's eye.
Yes.
Very cool.
That's my helm set.
As long as we're murmuring, I'm going to go ahead and find where that information actually is.
Tigers are.
Was this Ivan? Is that what this dude's name
Yeah,
was?
Ivan.
Cat's eye are my fingernails.
That was him.
I'm not right
Yes,
now.
The guy
that
we
was
just killed.
the dude.
That's tigers eye. Tiger little.
Trying to catch up
Tigers
on
are
my,
cats.
on my notes here.
Damn
Make
it.
sure I know who he is. And he's the one who told us about the Yaga and all that stuff.
Yeah, he seemed to know who that was and what they were doing.
Sorry, this guy?
Yeah, no, this guy, he had a lot of...
This man who's
Yes,
dead.
Remember he said a little poem before I chopped his head off? He was
Who seemed to think Cain had some excellent ideas.
The Chosen of the Rot, the Death Song.
Yeah.
The death song, yes. That's fine. I'm sure that's fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
He didn't have like no...
We just don't have to go down another hole.
He had a set of leather armor,
Okay.
a staff
I've got stuff.
that in one half of this room feels magical.
Wait, what is what if I turn it this way? So this part is magical.
Oh, speaking of things that seem magical in certain areas, that crossbow you grabbed there.
Oh,
Moreland.
yes.
So it's
It's magical. Yes,
yeah.
I do have it started as magic.
Yeah, with the eyes on that skull that's mounted to the front of it flicker with heatless flame as soon as you get it out of the dead magic zone.
I bet you could throw that like twice as far as
I mean, it already has
This
the
party
proportions.
is very good at using crossbows.
Yeah.
They're very good at things in general.
Aren't we though? Is there anyone that can inspect it while they're searching body to learn about it, or is it more of a short rest?
And more of a short rest, try to attune or cast identify kind of deal.
Seem dangerous now that it's.
You kind of, well, yeah, I mean, don't look directly at it.
Throw it.
all this crap's dangerous.
It's the only way you could use a crossbow worse, is to just look directly at it. But no, it's
But it's not like spewing
no.
fire.
And if you like wave your hands over it, you feel that the flames don't actually produce any heat. It just seems to be a purely cosmetic thing.
That
I have a really cool crossbow.
awesome.
Perhaps it does fire damage.
Ghost Rider cosplay.
When we get in some magical zones here.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Here, I'll give you all these magic items in the middle of a dead magic zone.
That sounds about right.
Where is the magic zone?
So basically, if we look at the map here, yeah, it's basically right like through here, like
That side?
Yeah, like this side out is magical.
Okay.
This side back is all dead magic.
Yeah.
Have we already investigated these rooms or no?
There's a couple of alcoves you haven't investigated.
Okay.
That one is open. You can see some crates piled up. It looks like there's some food that survived.
Okay.
This one.
That's the one that's permafrost.
Yeah,
right?
this one, the temperature contrast is creating this curtain of mist that makes it impossible to see through. So you haven't actually checked this area out yet.
Is that in the magical zone, right?
That is in the magic zone, yeah.
So I'm going to step into the magic zone while they're doing their thing. And I'm going to shoot a bolt into that room just to see what happens.
Okay. Do me a favor, Tony. Call high or low.
You piss off an ice weasel, I swear to God.
Low. So how's searching that body going?
All right, and sure enough, the bolt that you fire from the crossbow flickers a little bit, and it looks like it's throwing off some embers. The crossbow would probably do some amount of additional fire damage were you to shoot an enemy with it.
Did anything happen in the room?
You didn't hear any screams.
That's awesome.
Just hear a
I
clap.
guess this is a fire crossbow.
However, do make me a perception check. Just me, no Moreland.
I also forgot to double check with
Do you need like a scratching post and hold up the staff?
Perception, you say?
Indeed.
Why,
Maybe
yes, I
that's-
do.
I don't have any sun sensitivity at the moment, correct?
Nope. And also, it's based on hearing, so
Cool.
no worries.
18.
18. You are pretty sure you hear a growling sound
From that room?
from that alcove. Yes.
Son of a- God damn it. Giant
Did they hear it?
ass weasel.
Just you.
Cool. I'm gonna have my crossbow trained on it, but not say anything.
Very good.
Yeah, no, there's a big stick here. There's like this guy had some armor. It's kind of moldy.
Yeah. So after
big
you
sticks, don't
after you
you?
peel the fungus-covered
Magic
armor off the
and such.
dude and grab his stick, you turn around and see Mino Moreland holding a crossbow against all odds correctly at the mist curtain there.
Now put that down. Do not anger the ice weasels.
Put your eye out. What are you messing around with that
I don't
for?
know. I heard something in there, so just in case.
And you just now thought to tell us?
I'm gonna stop everyone.
It was on a need-to-know basis.
I guess you don't need to know.
Now, Kane, I would really appreciate if you started taking the perishable foods and putting them into the good, cold places for this town. I'm gonna go investigate over there and try to pay my homages to the ice weasels.
Oh, yeah, you're in pretty tight with them weasels. Yeah, is there
You've been
like
getting along with the ice
is there
weasels,
like dry
Spirits.
goods or things that like aren't fully spoilt?
All right, so there are. I'll have you roll an investigation check in a minute. There's some proportion of it is completely ruined. Some proportion of it is safe because it's been in cold areas, and there's some proportion that is salvageable. So we'll have you roll that momentarily to determine how successful you are at finding stuff.
Enough.
Ms. Darcel Jones of Clan Jaguar, what would you like to do?
I would like to hold the Windwalker amulet, and I would like to very slowly, very calmly walk toward the mist, paying homage to the frost weasels? I'm trying to think what I said or did, because I know I bowed and gave them an
Oh yeah,
offering,
you made some sort of an offering to Mother Weasel.
Yeah.
When you found her remains.
Yeah, but it's been a minute, and I don't actually remember what offering I
haven't edited that one yet, so I can't help.
Yeah, I don't know.
We should pull that dead.
Why not tell us in the comments section what Darcel Jones offered to Mother Weasel?
Yeah. So just paying homage and
Yes,
making an offering to the weasels, the ice weasels, and telling them thank you.
Very good. So entering in a sort of holding the amulet
Yeah,
and
like
very
pious,
I'll take a step back. I'm just here just in case.
non-threatening.
Alrighty. So
Thank you, weasels.
you step into the ice curtain, and you have it's a little bit hard to like parse out what you're seeing. You feel like you get through the wall of mist, but everything's still like blue and icy. And then you momentarily realize that is because you are looking through the translucent body of a very large weasel. It is currently reared up with heckles up, and that thing's probably about 10 feet from tip of the nose to tip of the tail. But
So you're inside
as
a
it
weasel,
sees you, it calms visibly.
I'll lower.
Thank you, Mr. or Mrs. Weasel. However you identify, I would just like to pay homage for the work that you do and encourage you to keep going. And if there's anything we could do to help remedy this situation, please let us know. And I'll just take a bow.
All right. You feel an empathic sense of gratitude, and it's difficult to express this verbally, but the amulet you're holding, you kind of think it begins to whisper to you.
In weasel.
We can only hope.
Oh my.
You speak weasel.
I knew I should have taken weasel as a language.
Unfortunate. However, no, it is in common. The whispers are in common.
Okay.
Let's see here. Speech is difficult. With the defilement, you have done much for us already. We ask to borrow your voice.
This sounds safe.
You're the frickin' weasel Lorax.
Triss the Majestical / Weasel Lorax.
I speak for the weasels.
Yes.
For the weasels have no tongues. And I'm begging you at the top of my lungs.
I would be more than honored to carry your message
All right.
and be your voice.
You are overcome with a sensation of cool relaxation, like being in a cool pond on a hot summer's day. And you just kind of float there momentarily, vaguely aware of what is happening. Minamorlin, you see Triss turn around.
You all right there, Triss?
Lower your weapon.
Oh, I have.
We do not seek any further conflict. Too many have perished.
I certainly agree. I was just, this trigger on this thing is happy sometimes, so...
It was an offering. The warrior who brought it called it Flamecaster's Bolt.
Certainly seemed that way.
It is a fitting reward for your kindness. The bringer of life hurt this place. But before that, the expanding blister engulfed our home, and released something foul.
Expanding blister, you mean the non-magicals, though?
Guys, I don't know if these radishes are gonna make it. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, so you walk in with a crate of questionable radishes, and you find, like, Triss is standing there, like, all hair on end, and the eyes have just gone pale blue.
The weasel is talking through her. Yes, there's a weasel over there.
I am
Put down the
Lucilieth.
radishes.
I am Lucilieth. I am Mother to the others interred here.
Hey, that rhymes very nicely.
Thank you. I have very little to do but practice.
That's fair.
It seems well rehearsed.
Certainly. Well, I do apologize for my crossbow mishap.
Yeah, what was that thing about released evil something? What's going on?
Due to I believe that the blister you are speaking of is the anti-magic zone. Is that correct?
We do not know the words you use for such things, but the spirit realm is hard to reach here. A great distance between us and our home.
Any way you know of like a trigger to turn it off at all in here? Or
We do not know.
fair enough.
For many years, it remained stationary. It has only moved in the last several years.
Interesting.
Little
Was it
by little,
Okay.
it encroaches, washes away our presence, makes impermanence in the permafrost.
Yes, that is certainly an issue for you as well as it's an issue for the cold storage that you do keep for the town there. So
It's like this whole.
The food storage was later. We have been here since before the town was founded. The mayor was kind, respected our power and our safety.
That's good to know.
well, if we can figure out a way to reverse this, we certainly will.
We hope you are successful. The wooden fetish in my chambers appears to be the source of what was to be kept here, frozen.
That wooden man. The wooden man? The wooden man
Yeah,
that was in
the
the
wooden
permafrost?
guy. Yeah, the guy was like sticking out of the ice.
Yep, there was like a wooden,
yeah.
almost like a wooden puppet.
So what is his... How does he figure into all this?
We were summoned from the realm of spirits by Wicklarn many ages ago. We were commanded to remain here, to keep the ground cold, so that what they buried here would remain.
Buried?
So whatever was in that thing is out now?
We can only surmise as much. When the human leader came to us most recently, he had a foul miasma about him. Some dark and cloying presence looming over him.
But you couldn't see it.
Not until
Just sense it.
we sensed it, yes.
Weasel sense. Triss isn't talking to me right now. Triss isn't here right now, man. Is there anything else you can tell us, wise weasel?
We could tell you much of our lives, but we do not know what will help.
Yeah. Mostly like the last few months, when things started changing. Did something happen to make that start? Or did it just suddenly, it wasn't, the magic was pushing you out?
It has been a slow process.
Okay.
We warned the human leader. He promised to seek a solution. He was not successful. In the last few moons, it has accelerated. Much of this cave is now covered by the Great Gulf.
And when was the last time he came and saw you, the mayor?
We do not see the sun here. We expect a few days, perhaps a week.
You said you felt that he was corrupted by something.
A presence followed him. We could sense it on him. He seemed to know when we warned him.
Oh, yeah. That could be why his chamber pot didn't look so great.
Yeah, there's something bad, like, was attacked him as we killed him.
That
Like,
too.
we don't was, but something bad was in there.
He was also very sick.
Yeah. Triss saw something too. Like, she got freaked out in that last fight outside with them doggies.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, she like turned around and like.
Well, I'm sure being the Weasel channel today will help with my
Yeah, you're gonna be all
psychological
kinds of,
damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just how many things do you have living inside you right now? Anyway.
It's a good question. I'm a cat. I have a lot of parasites. What do you
Yeah.
want from me?
Is that presence
Questionable
Where the 9
here
lives
now?
come from?
Can you sense
You
it
have 9.
again?
people inside.
We cannot smell the creature on you. The creature, the presence, we do not know. It was strange to us. It did not seem like a living thing, nor a vortex of foul energies such as the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
It was strange to us.
And who was this guy? I point to the dead body.
An interloper, a bringer of life, but inimical to the life we represent.
I was going to say.
Ibn is was not our favorite person. He kept talking about some crazy thing called have you ever seen like witches and things around here? Magic people.
There is much on this steppe that is magical, and witches too are here in abundance. We overheard your conversation. You seek the Yaga,
Yeah. What exactly is that?
a great and powerful witch, one of the darkest presences. She is known to the spirits. We avoid her. She is able to compel us to service if she demands. Seldom do her tasks mean kindness.
That probably sounds just fine.
Have you ever seen this witch?
We have not. We know that the human leader sought her as well. We advised him as we advise you now.
We know
If
that?
you do meet her, ask only what you must. Each question carries a price.
Great.
Okay.
A wish with a price.
Questions? Alright. What other than the Fira who would come here and the guards, like the people outside who were like frozen, did others come here other than the bringer of life?
Only men from the town to store their goods here and collect them.
Short guy.
Occasionally, the witch would visit us.
Which
The
one?
witch of the town.
Oh yeah, the one. Our roomie.
Yeah. The one who's housing us?
What about?
Occasionally, the berserker would come as well. He brought offerings.
Which one was he?
I don't think you've met that guy yet.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Alright. But like, short guy, kind of fancy, dwarf-looking fellow. Did he ever come over here?
We have not seen the one you describe.
Hammer Pants, whatever the name was.
Shatterhelm, but
Shadowhound, yeah.
The sheriff? No.
Yeah, he's like the sheriff and the.
perhaps he came once to inspect the storage of goods,
Sure.
but we cannot be sure. Speech and memory are harder without my children.
Baby weasels.
They will recover.
Oh, that's good.
The Telthor are not mortal as you are.
Well, that's good to know. Luciliath, was it?
Indeed.
Thank you for your time. You are a great weasel.
We would ask a favor, though you have already done much.
I mean, I know, but like, okay.
Could you return us across this gulf where we cannot walk to our remains?
How,
Oh yeah, for where them weasels statues
how
is.
do we do that?
We just gotta take them back to the weasel graveyard. Yeah, how do we get you across here though?
He, the weasel kind of like comes out and like sort of reaches out its hand And as you can see, you see where the anti-magic line is. It just sort of fades out of existence,
That's bad.
and then pulls back.
Well, how about this?
What if you
I got
the footable hole? Whoa,
I
can it hop in?
yeah, like I got this extra dimensional space that I could walk and I could open it up again, and then maybe you could get out in another magic place. Would that protect you? It would keep you like in another little pocket.
We do not know, but it seems a sound idea.
Or like, can my friend be a vessel for you? And like, can you walk across?
We cannot fully inhabit her body. We can only borrow her voice.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, you don't have permission to give my body to anybody.
Yeah.
No, I was saying, I was just volunteering everybody else. I was like, yeah, no, I'll do it. I mean, I'll do it. I will do it. So I'm just saying.
Time out. Point of clarification. Where are you, Coach? Point of clarification. Do they want us to take bring the weasel remains to where the mother weasel is, or to take the mother weasel?
I guess
To take the mother weasel to where her body is.
Got you.
Yeah, she's got her own special like shrine room.
Got you. Cool.
I mean,
That's where the
Since we
wooden
can't-
puppet
It's
is.
like over.
since we it's
Yeah, it's that one room by Tony. Yeah.
So, since we can't, well, since it seems like you can't travel that way, maybe the extra dimensional space works, because this was magical.
Yes, that one did have some magic. There was one wall that was in the anti-magic zone, and that's where the wooden puppet
Would it
was.
be possible if we brought them to you? That may be easier?
No, her body's over there.
I know, brought her body to
It's
this
gigantic.
The bones were interred with ceremony. To move them would disrupt us.
Fair enough.
We would recover, but it would take time.
Okay.
I say you try jumping in the hole. If we open it up and it's not there, then we go back and
I mean,
it's
are
got
you,
stuck.
like, would you,
Bounced
like, do you die if you go in this anti-magic field? You just dissipate and...
We cannot enter it fully. We do not know what were to happen if we were to try.
Okay. Well, we
Alright.
can certainly try this, but I guess no guarantees it'll work.
I mean, worst case, it'll just like bounce her out, I would think.
Along with, like, all this stuff. Just...
I mean, we've been walking around with it. We just
Well,
keep-
as
it's
long
just-
as the
it's
weasel
just
is not
fabric.
also an extra dimensional space, it could be fine.
And that was campaign 2, everybody.
Join us for campaign 3, Return from the Astral Sea. So my,
Yeah, I mean, I think that is the best idea that we have
we just gotta
available to us
bypass
right
it,
now.
and we can keep like it won't work in the anti-magic. It's just a piece of cloth, but then we get to the other
It
side.
should still be in there.
Yeah, it's suppressed. It's not dispelled.
Yeah.
It's.
Yeah.
You seem like a. I don't know. Your wizard's out of pocket, but it seems like it'd probably work.
It's the best.
Can I roll thought process on that?
Arcane would be the most relevant thing.
I don't have it. I don't have proficiency, but I do have jack of all trades.
I mean, you're a bard, so you kind of have proficiency.
10.
You have no earthly idea.
It's fine.
Arcana check. Natural 20.
Oh my god.
Oh. You suddenly have a ghost of a memory where you were running a whole bunch of nilbogs across the shoals of the Despond, and this is exactly how you did that.
Oh yeah.
Just load them all up in a bag of holding, turn it upside down when you get over by enemy lines.
So you've pulled a job like this before.
Apparently so. Well,
What were you in your last life?
hop in, Weasel. No time to dwell on that thought. Let's
Right.
go.
Triss, you kind of feel yourself emerging from the pool and into the misty air of the chamber, and just in time to see the largest weasel ever climb into a portable hole.
If you'd like some mayonnaise, help yourself.
No, we didn't make mayonnaise today.
Oh, it's got wine in there. There's some wine in there. You got some wine.
I'm gonna take another pull off my brandy bottle.
It's now worth 80 gold.
And
That one's for us.
Well, we're ferrying her to the remains that you found.
Triss, you were not insensate for that.
cool.
You could follow the conversation.
great.
You just couldn't speak necessarily.
Yeah, your voice was being borrowed, but your consciousness was aware of what was happening.
cool.
It's sure, yeah, it seems like this will work, so let's
do it.
do it. Do we have everything from him?
Yeah,
the
we got-
radishes.
I mean, it was. We got
Yeah,
the
he
staff.
seemed like he was traveling really light. He had a magic stick and some worm-eaten armor, and that's pretty much it.
Druids. Are there carts? Have we seen carts down here?
There are a couple of small hand carts. They're not like, big, there's no forklifts, but...
Well, because I was thinking about taking the dead soldiers back to town or something like that. But anyway, that's
Were they dead soldiers? What happened?
out front, the guards.
I mean, they were dead. They were just, like, frozen. Right?
Well, the paralysis they had seemed to also extend to their lungs.
Oh.
So, I don't know, who knows?
We'll
Fair
see.
enough.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, let's go.
Did you get all the
Let's
crates?
return this weasel.
You looked through all the crates and all the food and whatnot?
Yeah, let's roll investigation and determine the results of
How
that.
much time do we have?
That may turn out to be important later.
Middle of the afternoon. Great. Fantastic.
Can I aid you in said things? Or?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Even better. It was. 14.
14. Yeah, you managed to find a few crates full of food that still looks good. So yeah, you probably
We're trying to
managed to
figure-
rescue some vegetables and grain.
Are we trying to bring these back to the town?
No, we're trying to keep them
I'll
good.
put them in the
Try to get them in the
Yeah,
cold parts of the
So they
dungeon.
don't
rather
keep
than
getting
keep going
worse.
bad.
So I think that area is probably the furthest away from being affected as far as the cold parts are concerned.
Yeah, it seems like so.
Is it pretty easy to tell like where the cold is? And
Yeah,
not?
the walls are nowhere like this is an earthen cave, so it's like carved out of like mud.
it's not
So
permafrost.
wherever the walls aren't like saggy and weeping mud, that's probably where it's still cold.
I was thinking like, do we need to make signs or like no food here?
It'll be pretty obvious.
Okay, great.
But that's the only
Not
one
much of the
with
meat
permafrost.
survived. That's where the gnolls were hanging out. And they seem to like tear into that with gusto.
But that's the only permafrost one? This one doesn't have it?
This alcove does.
This
So
one does?
yeah, that's a cold alcove. There are already some crates stacked up
Okay.
there. There's room for more.
Okay.
Have we looked in that one yet, or not? Was there
No,
anything in there?
There's just
of
some
note?
crates.
Yeah, you saw some food storage, but that was about it.
All right. Well, then I guess
So
let's
yeah,
bring
pile
back
up
this
the-
weasel.
Yep, pile up these crates and all the things that are salvageable and the permafrost, and then we'll take the weasel back.
All right, you bring the weasel back to the weasel room with the large stone with the bones laid out.
Triss, you want to do the honors? You seem to speak weasel.
Sure.
All right, opening up the portable hole, Lucilieth slinks on out in that sort of weaselly kind of way. And the temperature of the room immediately drops by a degree or two. And again, you get an empathic this time sensation of gratitude and unease when she notices the sort of like half-exposed wooden puppet that's in the wall.
Okay. And
That-
she said
it's got a gaping chest wound too that appears to be quite
And
bloody.
that's not like that puppet is not a good puppet, right? That's what I've
Well, you're no paladin, but it certainly doesn't look wholesome.
cool.
and that was buried here. That's why they were put here, was to keep whatever was in there in.
Seems like it.
And it has
okay,
gotten
yeah.
out.
It would appear so,
there-
or
is
at
it-
least
is it
it's
like-
been wounded in the heart.
Some kind of magical palimpsest or something, like they kept something.
I don't even know what that
Something
word
that
is.
is made to hold another thing, like a phylactery.
Box.
Portable hole.
Imagine a box.
I want you to imagine. So, was the wound? Is there any way to know if that was that wound put there after it was exposed, or was it there the whole time?
There's very little. Well, I will tell you that the blood in it does not look centuries old. You're not
I
sure.
remember that.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was like sticky and weird.
It was like sticky and weird in
Like we
in a
found.
familiar sort of way.
Yeah.
In like the mayor sort of way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it was like the blood that was seeping out had a very similar consistency to some of the blood you found in Ilya's room.
So
He might be, well, I don't know, maybe its dark soul got out and was rampaging through Ilya's mind.
we need to talk to Nadoya at some point, because she's going to be the resident expert on all this stuff. Our patron lady, who's putting us out.
Yeah, the priestess in church.
Because she's going to know about all this stuff.
Yep.
Well, maybe we make a stop with her first, before we go stalking. When do office hours?
All right. Yeah. Well, I think we've done all of what we can do here.
Alrighty.
We got no bodies to take care of. Take a couple pics. Crime scene investigator. And then
The blood spatter analysis. This gnoll was clearly killed by an axe.
then I guess we are heading back to town because it's got to be getting late in the day, right? It's probably
It's about
on towards dusk at this point.
not quite that. It's late afternoon. You're looking at probably about 3:30, 3:45 in game terms.
Cool. Right?
Yeah. Let's leave.
It's about an hour back to town. That will put you back there a little before sunup. As you leave the cold storage, those two guards are still standing there. However, a large stalk seems to be growing out of each of their heads.
What is that? Like,
Oh, as in like some sort of pestilency druid type thing?
I mean, if you're familiar with the cordyceps fungus, a lot like that.
But he's going to turn into mushrooms.
it certainly seems like.
Or they're gonna
And
release more spores.
yeah, their eyes are like glazed over with what look like mycelia, little stringy bits of fungus, and their skin, like all the color has leached out of their skin.
Alright, well, we need to do something about this.
These guys in a soup.
I feel.
Why don't you stand back? And
I
why
have
don't
a sweet fire crossbow
Well, and
now.
I've got some sweet fire cantrips, and I think we need to
I think you're
set
right,
these
because
guys
that's what
on
fungus doesn't
fire.
like, right? It doesn't like fire. It likes dark, damp places.
from a far distance, though.
Put them in tea or something.
No, I don't think these are good.
It's not the good kind of mushrooms.
No.
Especially growing out of a human.
These are not your rishis. And
Yeah, I'm going to stand way back and not breathe around these guys.
That's a good idea.
yeah, definitely like put up like some garments around the nose and just start fire bolting.
Sure. Let's just for funsies. How far away are you when you start this fire bolting?
How far away can you go?
I believe that's what he's looking up.
For fungies.
60?
120.
120. Well, that's quite far away. Yeah, they suddenly go up like tinder.
Awesome.
You're not sure what's up, but their bodies are definitely not reacting like normal human bodies when exposed to fire.
But that's for the best.
They were soldiers, right, of the guard? The
Yes.
Hammer pants.
Tags.
Yeah, well, how long does it take? Well, no, but they probably have serial weapons.
Oh, right.
Yeah, if you were to investigate after, they are each wearing a set of chainmail.
Yeah.
The tabards don't really survive, but yeah, their armor does, and they indeed each have a two-handed hammer.
And none
The
of them.
serial number?
Yes, with makers marked on everything.
Well,
Are
that's
they
good.
ash now? Are they ash?
Yeah, the people themselves, yes,
And
they
the
burned
stocks
up
and-
pretty
okay,
quick.
good.
Well, let's take those hammers, and that'll be our reason for calling tomorrow is to return these hammers, and then we can also investigate the murder weapon.
Yeah, we have the
Since-
serial number on the from the other hammer. Or is that the dagger?
Dagger.
Yeah.
Dagger.
These guys have.
Yeah, everything you found that was like used by one of the guards or like town officials, you found a maker's mark and a serial number on each of them.
Right.
Are they sets? Like, does the one guy's hammer
Yes,
and his
actually,
dagger
yes.
all match the
Yeah,
same
if you were to
number?
match his hammer to his dagger to his chainmail, all the same maker's number, and
That might
yeah.
narrow it down a little bit.
Well, now we've got just 3 numbers that we need to investigate, and we don't necessarily have to say which one was found where.
Also true. Yeah.
Precisely.
your plan.
I like the ambiguity.
All right. Up to.
headed back to town. Ready?
Right then, off we go.
All right.
Nope, just dials.
You make it back to town pretty much without incident. It is about 5:45. The sun is getting low, but it is still in the sky.
Oh, we just missed office hours.
No, she likes the stars and stuff, right?
No, that's a different one.
That's the mistress.
Oh,
of
that's the
mayor.
mistress.
I think we should go speak to Nadoya first,
I think so
after
too.
we, yes, after we.
Okay.
and then we'll go stargaze.
I don't really want to sleep here at all. So
Wait, what? Sleep where?
this place is creepy as hell. I am never going to sleep.
Did you have bad dreams last night?
No, but you told me about yours, and I don't want to have any more. That's all
And
I'm
I
saying.
want none of it.
None of that.
And
Not for me. No, thank you.
I don't know what's going on with you, but there's something in your soul, friend.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
That's bad.
No, there's something in Ben's soul. There's something in his mind,
certainly something
apparently.
in his soul. Haven't you seen the rain?
No, I've
Yeah,
seen
you
it.
saw where he vomited up that cloud of
I saw
brimstone.
the other man who lives in him.
The man inside me.
Well, now a weasel lives in you, so welcome to
There's
the
your
club.
autobiography. Boy, you all have just a whole bunch of stuff wrong with you.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, I wonder whose fault that is.
Yeah, who indeed?
So we gotta go.
I mean,
We're
we
gonna go
picked
talk
The
to
cathedral.
The cathedral.
To the cathedral, very
And we have
well.
some other things. We go see the
Yeah,
lady lady.
and then we go gambling.
And gambling. I like all these ideas.
Nice. Alrighty, you find the cathedral much as you left it, except that Xantus has apparently left. The body is still, the body of the town founder is still there. It has, however, been fully covered, and there's nobody paying respects right now.
Has that already happened? The investigate.
Yeah, I think we gotta check in with him too at some point.
The
See if
So many leads to follow.
we- So hard to solve a mystery.
We need
Ugh.
minions.
we need an office space, and then
You have one. You made friends with that little
Yeah, I don't know what
scamp
happened with
outside
him.
the town.
Yeah, we'll see.
You can tell him to go do stuff.
I don't know if I trust him.
You have coin. He was very impressed with that.
That's true. And alchemist fire, more so than the coin.
He was pretty impressed.
Handing out hand grenades.
Just handing out hand grenades to rebellious 13-year-old kids. It's great.
Yeah, and you know what he likes more than money? Hand grenades. Let's be real.
I think that could buy a lot of loyalty in this town.
We have whole barrels of the thing. We just gotta.
You and your kids want another hit? Just come on back.
Hey man, yeah, you thought candy was cool.
Here's weapons.
You guys are such a bad influence.
Well, yeah,
Chaotic.
we're gonna save.
Chaotic.
We're gonna save this town, okay?
Chaotic good.
Well, yeah. That's,
Chaotic neutral. I'm all for forging documents, but we'll get there.
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
Alrighty.
We are not going to sleep tonight, are we? All right, let's
can
go
forge
see what
documents
want to sleep
Nedelia wants to
anyway.
do.
Yep, Nedalia, you find her.
Can't make him happy.
Yeah, in the sanctuary. She appears to be chatting with a couple of acolytes. She greets you as you return and asks what she can do for you.
Well, we had a very interesting trip to the cold storage. We met
Luciliev.
Luciliev. She's very lovely.
You spoke with Mother Weasel. Fantastic.
We did.
Well,
He was the Mother Weasel. It was also
Oh, she borrowed you then.
she did.
She must have made a favorable impression indeed upon her.
well, we cleared out the gnolls that were making ruckus in there.
Gnolls?
big
There were
dog
some
guys.
gnolls.
I know what a gnoll is. What were they doing there? Were the guards asleep on the job?
Well,
Ooh,
They were dead. There was a druid.
Bastard.
Someone talking about
Like a
the
fungus
chosen of rot. His
name was
Death
Ibid.
Song.
Ugh.
Who had taken up residence there. But more important is the story about the wooden man that was buried in the walls, that the spirits were originally,
meant to keep him there.
yes.
A wooden man, you say?
Yes.
Very grotesque looking.
Bleeding from a chest.
Gaping wound on his
It was
chest.
wounded and bleeding.
It was
Not.
Like sticky goo goo.
That is very unfortunate.
Look like this.
What?
We kept some.
Oh yeah, you took a sample.
We did.
Well, she doesn't seem too keen to examine
up
it very
on all.
closely.
And the wound
Here we go.
looked remarkably similar to the one on our dear founder. So we came to you first.
Just the blood.
Very, very disturbing. I know that the Mother Weasel was brought in as a guardian in ages past. I do not know what it was that she guarded. She herself seemed not to know. The Telthor, they do not see things the way you and I see them. But if indeed what she was guarding has been released or wounded in some way, as you
She
described,
believes both.
that is very, very strange. That
Like it was a
and you
conduit.
say the wound matched those on on the Fira's corpse as well.
Certainly the blood did.
We haven't seen the corpse yet, so we don't really know that.
Do we?
We saw the evidence of the struggle. There was a big central blood thing about where the chest might have been.
The chestal region?
The chestal region.
The chestal
But we haven't
region.
seen the body. We have to check in with Xantas.
No, you've
I'm
heard it.
assuming that he's going to confirm.
Yeah, you've heard it alluded to that he had a gaping chest wound. I believe Xantas used the phrase gaping chest wound when describing the experience
We
of
believe
bringing
I just
we
want to
have-
see how many times we can say gaping chest wound.
yeah, how many
Title of the
times before we
episode.
get demonetized?
Title of the episode. Gaping chest wounds.
Title of the whole chapter. Chapter 2, gaping chest wounds.
For a lot of different reasons.
So yeah, I mean, we have
We have it on good authority that it all matches.
Also mentioned that when the mayor was last there before he passed away, he had a very bad energy
presence in him.
spirit with him. Not undead, she was very careful to say, and not alive, but something different.
something like tainted him was a little bit.
The last time he was there was what?
That
like,
is
within a week is
following
what
him,
she
she
said.
He,
She
he
said it
did
was-
not come to me with any such concerns. The mother weasel said he carried some sort of foul presence.
Something followed him, yes.
Something followed him. That must be our murderer.
Quite possibly.
Perhaps it is indeed something more than human if it so upset the mother weasel. I must say I am not surprised. Ilya was a beloved man. I can think of few who would want him dead. But I will make inquiries of the spirits, and I will pray to the Hidden One for guidance on this. I thank you for letting me know this. I wish I could tell you more, but I can say only that what you say sounds disturbing. I will have... Let me think on this. I may have more for you when I have had a chance to consult with my holy texts. What was the word that you used when describing what this interloper said? The chosen of Rats. What?
The death song.
The death song.
The death song and the chosen of Rot.
Certainly some, yeah.
Well, it certainly sounds ominous. I know of... I cannot say that I know of a spirit who goes by those titles, but I am not, of course, one of the foremost of my order. I can make inquiries. I'll write a letter to the Othlor at once and see if they can provide us some guidance.
I mean, I'm still a little bit foggy on the terminology. And Othlor's like the leader of your group.
They are of the highest rank within the Wicklarn. They are the oldest and wisest of us. Most of them live in Rashiman, and very few are known to deal with any except other witches.
And are you expecting? Does one live here? Or do they
Oh
visit?
no, they live almost entirely within a certain forest in Rashiman. I would let you know, but I only have about half my notes today, so sorry about that.
But we did find evidence in the mayor's room that one was
Yes.
coming.
Yes, you found a tersely written note that implied that an Othlor was on the way.
And she didn't seem to know that last time.
Indeed
We
not.
sort of
Should we...
Is that the same witch
Okay,
that...
timing.
Is it the same witch that the weasel's alluding to?
No, that's a different one.
So, in the
Now time in.
guise and duty of transparency, we were investigating the crime scene as it were, and it appears as though one of your Othlor are on the way.
What? Can you show me?
Can we show it?
The letter?
Yeah.
Give us 45 minutes and an ink and quill pen, and
I have the pen,
Yeah.
and the ink, and the seals.
no, but that was in one of the letters that we found.
Yes, it was. It was one of the letters.
Letter. Hold on. It was.
Letter from an honored mother, I believe, is what I
Yeah.
got.
Yes.
It was letter number 2. Yeah. From an honored
Cobalt number 5.
Yeah.
A little bit of yik yak.
Because the only one we don't know who it was
Enough.
from.
Poor Yik Yak.
One was from just S. We don't know who S is.
Yeah,
I think that was the Thayan Wizard.
Yeah, that's the
That's a
context.
different-
Yeah,
That's a
S-
different letter.
the context clues around that, S is definitely living in Thay and an evoker.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So yeah, show her like whatever scrap was.
There is no date on this. There is much to be done if an Othlor is to come to town. If you see Xanthus, tell him to meet me here. There are things that must be done.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go check in with him. Is he at night owls? Stay up late?
I do not know his life, but
He's like the doctor, right? Like,
It's like
he is a doctor. He must be used to people barging in at night. I'm sure it's
I
fine.
think we did that once or twice.
All right. I guess we take our leave.
Thank you very much for letting me know. I have a lot to do.
Alright. Need anything?
Jesus is coming. Look busy.
Do we need to make ourselves scarce if this guy shows up? Personally?
Well, that's all right. You are here with my blessing and under my hospitality. You need not fear the Othlor. The Thayans, on the other hand.
People don't fear the
Don't feel the
Seasons
reaper. I got
don't
you.
fear the Othlor.
No, that's my job.
There you go.
Okay.
If we're gonna form a band, I will play the cowboy.
So where's the next step?
Xanthus.
Xanthus,
And then stargazing, and then
then
gambling.
lady, and then
Yes.
gambling.
Okay.
Unless Xanthus gives us
Very good.
Unless
Great,
Xanthus
nope.
gives us another one.
Shit, it's all these stupid errands.
One
Can't even
task
plan my
leads to
gambling.
another, indeed. You may have to make some choices about what you do with your time. Anyway,
We will. But yeah, Xanthus.
Off to
Because then we
Xanthus,
can tell
then.
Xanthus to come here because apparently he's got stuff.
you find Xanthus at his home. He is poring over books and looking through just about every. He's got a whole bunch of anatomical drawings set up. It looks like he's drawn one that resembles. It looks fresh. It's probably a sketch he did of the body as he was examining it.
Oh, right.
Do we show him the letter?
Well,
We have 3. Which one?
Well, the one that concerns Thay and wizards and him. He might know who S is.
oh.
Yeah, it talks about damage to the weave, talks about the Telthor.
Yeah, it talks about how Xanthus used to be a wizard.
Sorry, this
but-
4-page letter is so brief.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
At this point.
we're all in on this guy. I mean,
All right. Yeah.
if one of them's gonna turn on us, so I just say let them all have equal playing field.
Yeah, I'm cool with
See what happens.
Then at least we don't have to come back to give him the letter.
Be like,
get it
okay,
all
we're gonna
done
come
in
back
one
in 2
area.
hours. We're gonna go do this whole gambling side quest, and then we're gonna come back. And then
We gotta stargaze first.
we just
Any
it's
number of things,
you know,
isn't it?
we
so
just
fun?
skipped right by that little fucked Prince boy's house. we're like, we don't have time for that.
He's making all the servants play human chess,
we were
and he
like-
doesn't know the rules.
We're gonna come back to that.
Yeah, we don't have time for that.
We don't have time for you.
All right.
All right, yeah, Xanthus.
Welcome back. I must thank you for speaking to Nadolia. My investigation of the body was troubling, but fruitful.
Yes, what did you find?
There was fruit in there?
No,
Don't mind
you seem
him.
intelligent. No,
I'm very intelligent. I just like getting a rise out of people.
his body does show signs of illness, but it doesn't. It's very difficult to identify what precisely may have been wrong with the founder at the time of his death. The chest wound is certainly the cause of death, but his body was in very ill condition. There's much to investigate. A full autopsy would have been better, of course, but I understand that these matters are touchy.
Yes. Well, on the subject of touchy, you should read this. I'm curious what kind of magic you used to practice. There's an Othlor on the way, and the Mother Weasel knew that there was something wrong with our beloved leader before he died.
You are throwing a lot at me right
Well,
now.
time is precious, my friend.
You got any
Okay.
food? I'm hungry.
Who's for Denny's?
There's a candy that give them to the children when they don't squirm. Yes, so
I have a whole bag of candy.
a letter. Yes, let's start with that. Why don't we start with the letter?
I got hangry.
The Thay letter?
Yeah.
Here you go.
It's licorice.
The 4-page letter?
Yes.
No.
Oh yeah, he devours that. Yes, this is a mutual acquaintance of ours. He was contacting Cimarron back in Thay. He is he's one of the School of Evocation. If he were indeed concerned about the town's cold storage, it would make sense to seek the advice of an evoker. What was your concern about this?
Well, I was just more, we wanted to be forthright and on the up and up, and
That's fair.
We were curious who S was and if he was reputable.
Cimarron is a decent enough man. It is difficult to remain decent in Thay, but he makes a bold effort of it.
And you were a spellcaster yourself?
Yes, once. Will your opinion of me change if I were to tell you what sort of magic I used to practice?
There's only one answer that would make me say yes.
No. My opinion of you would not change. If anything, I think this town needs all the help it can get at the moment.
No, I'm excited.
That is fair. I have found that the best use of my knowledge is putting my understanding of anatomy and the inner workings of the body, its connections, its musculature, to use in healing those who are ill and sick.
Mm-hmm.
I have put a lot behind me. I was indeed a member of the School of Necromancy. All Thavian wizards are expected to choose a single area of specialization and study it to the exclusion of others. I was close to the Zulkir once, and it is with great peril that I left him. I hope that you will keep this in mind as I confirm this for you.
I mean, necromancy is just a late healer, really, but...
The knowledge is useful in medicine.
Yeah, I was saying, aren't all those spells actually isn't cure wounds necromancy, or?
It depends on the edition.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think it's now evocation. Okay. It was conjuration in 3rd. I don't know what it was in 4th. It was necromancy in, I think, early 3rd and 2nd.
Interesting. Yeah, we can check those players' handbooks. Okay.
Hey, why not tell us in the comments section what school of magic healing should be?
Okay.
Divination.
So, I guess having said that, the weasel. Next order of business, the weasel that we met in there in the cold storage.
So you met him.
So you just be like, nope, says here you should feel better.
There you go.
I can see that working. I don't know.
The weasel said that when the mayor took his last visit within the last week was her best guess.
No, this guy
He
just
had
has so much more
he had a
badass.
very dark presence following him, like his aura rather, not like actually following
Like
him.
he had been in contact, or he was being followed by something really
being-
bad.
The Telthor are notoriously susceptible to poetic descriptions of these sorts of things. Are you certain that she meant a literal presence and not merely a bad mood?
She certainly meant something literal, but not right there in front of her.
Literal but not physical.
Yes, precisely.
It would be challenging. Most of the town is within an anti-magic field. I'm at a loss to describe.
She spoke of how it was not undead, but it was not living. It was something other. And to further complicate matters, there was a fetish that the Telthor were originally summoned to preserve.
Common to Rashomani magics, yes.
That fetish was partially exposed with a gaping chest wound that was bleeding,
Similar
not
to the mayor.
unlike.
Not dissimilar to the mayor, indeed. You say this is at the cold storage?
Yes, sir.
We gave him a blood sample of the mayor. Didn't we?
I think you did, yeah.
Right.
I think I recall that, yes.
And the blood that was coming out of that thing was very similar to what the mayor had going.
Oh, it was a literal wound, bleeding.
Yes.
Oh, well.
Because it was permafrost and it was slightly exposed, so it was, I suppose, frozen in time, and when it got exposed, then the blood became viscous again.
We'll need to examine this carefully, I suppose.
Well, be nice to the weasels.
Oh, yes.
They're very sweet.
How did you get on the creature's good side?
Ask for this one.
You catch a lot more flies with honey.
Very well.
You just be nice. Give them honor, pay your respects. But we did find someone in there, a chosen of rot. Someone who is following the death song. I don't know if these words mean anything to you,
The death song.
but we dispatched of them.
I would very much like to make an insight check on that when he hears that word.
Go ahead and roll it.
Necromancer.
I mean,
Nice.
fungal druid isn't quite far
Insight.
off.
17.
Well, he definitely seems concerned about it, but you don't know that he's making any effort to hide that concern.
Yeah.
I recall hearing the phrase death song. I couldn't tell you anything about the Chosen of Rot. But I have heard the phrase death song before.
It's pretty fucking metal.
I will...
Song about death.
I'll consult my texts. I think I may have read it in one of those.
Much obliged.
Thank you for this
and to
information.
further complicate, Nadoya
Yes.
requests your presence because
The Othlor is on his way.
There's a lot to do.
Oh, you did say that word. Oh, delightful.
sorry.
So she would like help in preparing, I suppose.
Oh, no doubt. I can tell her exactly what sort of help she would like from me. She would like very much for me and all of my followers to disappear for a while. The...
Oh, I thought you guys had a little
well...
tryst going on or something.
No. She's
Listen,
not
man,
my
Insight
type.
check.
I'm gonna ship whoever I want to. Alright? That's fine.
Hey, you know, anything's
Let us know in
canon.
the comments if you'd like.
Yeah, what's your favorite PeakD&D ship? Mine is Jastian and Jastian.
He is the best one.
Is it not golden as cat hammer?
Strong
Got a
contender.
gentle touch. His skin was always, sensitive.
Jesse and Thelma, obviously.
Takes all kinds, but he's the best,
I believe you're familiar with the tension between our respective nations.
Sexual tension. Sorry, continue.
The Othlor are the most powerful of Rashamon's witches, and the Othlor and the Red Wizards have been at odds for longer than any of us have been alive. We will have to be on our best behavior if we wish to avoid persecution.
Interesting.
The Othlor do not... They do not easily acknowledge the limits of their jurisdiction.
I'm sure they don't. Well, I am.
Well, that sounds very underdog of them.
I'm sorry to be bearers of bad news.
Seems there's little other news these days, but nonetheless, I thank you. It would have been much more challenging to prepare for this if we had no warning.
Now, I suppose the investigation, not full autopsy, didn't suggest of a dark presence, not of...
I could find no evidence of anything supernatural in his death. Lesions,
Which makes sense to me.
dry skin, very dry, and of course the mortal wound to his chest.
Very
Signs of
dry
illness, but no.
That mortal wound, did it appear to be a dagger? Did it appear to be... What size of
It
this
was
thing?
consistent with a bladed weapon, and I think a dagger would be about the right size.
Okay.
It couldn't have been. It would not have been a sword. The wound is too small.
Okay.
Or an axe, maybe?
Possibly a hand axe. Or. No, it's the cut is too clean. It doesn't look like it would have been a talon or any sort of bestial creature.
This might be a weird question. Was it definitely from the outside in? It didn't
Well, a curious question, but
from inside?
no. At least as regards the chest wound, it was certainly an external wound.
Alright.
Perhaps the lesions were... that's an interesting thought. If the lesions were... They looked like smaller cuts when I first saw them, but they may well have been ruptures in the skin. The dryness and the cracking of it would be consistent. You know what? Thank you for this. He starts writing down a lot of things into a small notebook.
He is the smartest of us.
So it's
You're very funny.
Except for
Now- No, but seriously, fellow
honest.
wizard.
It's not as tactful.
Well, we shall bid you adieu. We are off to go stargazing this evening.
Oh, if you could mention the matter of the Othlor to Atoya while you do, it would save me a trip.
Toya.
Yeah, we're going to see Toyota. Let's do this.
he knew
I want to ref for it.
Toyota dealership. Toyota Thon. Yeah. Is this Toyota Thon? Oh,
I'm sorry I even made that joke.
sponsor.
I'm sorry.
No,
This
we need to
video
be
is not
sponsored by
sponsored
mayonnaise. If we get any sponsorship, it's gonna be mayonnaise.
Miracle Whip?
Possibly some sort of root vegetable vendor.
Yes.
Hey, HelloFresh, get at us.
Send mayonnaise.
Yeah. All right. Let's do it. Let's go check out Otoya.
Alrighty, so we are getting along to about where that would be feasible. It is getting on to about 6:30. The sun is basically, we're at dusk now.
Okay.
And yes, you got Atoya's address from Ruben, and you knock upon the door, I assume.
Sorry, is this stargazing girl?
This is Stargazing Girl, and you're the
Mistress.
most charming of us, so I'm gonna let you do the talkings.
Why are we here again?
Before we go, can we stop at the stables? I just want to say hi to Quentin.
Why are we stargazing again?
Because this is the love, because that's what we were told to come do if we wanted to talk to the
If we want to
mayor's
talk to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna say that
We're
Ruben
interested in
sent
this.
us, that we're here for stargazing.
And you would be the best in town.
Everything's Cool.
And that you'd be the best in town to show us that.
Yes.
Word. It's been a while. Sorry. It's
You're
been
good, you're
trying
good.
to-
No, fair enough. None of that now. All right. Shortly after, the door opens, and a middle-aged but quite attractive woman opens the door. Good evening. How can I help you?
Yes, hello. I am Mr. Walter.
We bought flowers.
This is
Thank you.
Quentin.
I grow some of those just like those. Thank you.
Mr. Watley, Quentin, and this is Darcel Jones
Of Clan Jaguar.
of Clan Jaguar. And we've just kind of stumbled into town a few days ago. We're putting
Oh
up-
yes, you're the talk of the community. In fact.
Yeah, we make some ripples, but that's all right. But we were actually very curious to stargaze in this place, and we were told that you were the best one to show us that world.
Were you?
We were.
Who?
Ruben, I believe.
It's Ruben. It turns out we
Stuff,
have
Ruben. Yes.
a few mutual acquaintances.
Since we've been in town.
Oh,
Well,
that reminds me, we didn't eat dinner.
well, you've picked a lovely night for it. Actually, tonight should be a perfect evening to stargaze. I was just getting ready to go to my favorite hill. Would you care to accompany me?
That would be most delightful. Do you need help carrying anything? Getting
Oh,
ready?
well, if you wish to be a gentleman about it. She hands you a large leather bag with what feels like a
Strength 10?
drop. Oh, careful, there's lenses in there.
I told you we should have gone Quentin.
Is it like a backpack?
It's
could be
yeah,
smart.
basically
Does it
like a
have
duffel
straps?
bag.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got a
Is
strap.
this a long trip? Do we need a beast of burden?
Do not get your
I don't think that'll be necessary.
Nope, I got it. It's fine.
You'll find that
carrying it?
the fewer distractions we have, the better.
Sounds great. I love it. No, this is going to be great.
All right. Yeah, it feels like telescope parts.
Oh, yes. That makes sense for stargazing. See them.
Are we going to the place to do the dagger thing tomorrow?
Yeah, at this point, I think.
Yeah, we got you guys got back into town like
Yeah.
pretty late in the day.
That was our go-to with all the guard stuff that we just.
Right.
Yeah, it was gonna be tomorrow if we lived through
Hey,
the
we
night.
found all of
You
these
know,
things.
Yeah,
open
we gotta see
question,
if we
but we'll see.
If
We just got to see if we die. That's fine.
We're in peril.
Everything's fine. Yeah, no, it's great. Let's go.
All right.
All right.
Off to you.
She happily makes small talk with you as she gathers up her supplies and leads you out of town toward a nearby hill.
So then we just ran across the bridge right into the middle of the town and just caused a big ruckus.
So that's how that happened.
Yeah, it was weird.
Well, I mean, it would happen in Arashimini part of town. They are prone to exaggeration, but it sounds perfectly consistent with the rumors I've heard. So, and then the bird attacked one of you, yes?
Yeah, the cat and the bird.
Yeah, they
Oh, well, that
must
makes
get
sense.
along.
Which was weird because it was Trish's idea the whole time.
Well, that's just interesting.
No.
Okay.
That is
Next one is my
not
turn.
exactly how that all went out. But
If you was a flavor of ice cream, what flavor would you be and why?
I've always been rather partial to peach.
Peach ice cream.
Peach ice cream.
Peaches. Yeah,
I'm not one for this ice cream. I don't think it's in the underdog.
I get that.
We don't like joy down there.
Don't like joy.
I imagine it's difficult to grow fruit.
Yeah, it's also true.
peaches.
You wouldn't like that place either.
I would not like this place either. It turns out. I admire your taste in ice cream. Although, speaking of the Rashmani, another common acquaintance of ours told us to let you know that the Othlor are on their way as well.
Oh.
Which I suspect you may have already known, but we can save that bit of the conversation till we get to the hint.
So how do you put this together?
Oh, what you want, you have to like push that little tab in. It's gnomish. Yeah, sure enough, it is a assemblable telescope contraption
Very
thing.
nice.
All right.
This
I
is cool.
brought only 2 possessions with me when I fled my home in Thay, and this is one of them.
It's a very nice possession. I'm assuming it's like very well crafted, pretty.
It seems really well crafted to
Awesome.
you, yeah. But yeah, it takes a little while, but you are able to set it up. I have a good feeling about the west tonight. Would you point it that way? Thank you. So, looks like we have a little time before the sun goes down entirely. What
Are we
questions
indeed
did you...
alone?
She seems to think you are. If you would like to verify
I
that,
would like to verify that.
go ahead and roll me some investigation.
You want to help me do it? You want to both look?
Sure.
You also note that the side of the hill you're set up on is the side that you can't see from town.
Good.
So how did you?
She brought us.
I guess while they're looking around, we'll kind of do the whole.
That's
like,
a 18 investigation.
Where did you get? Who crafted this delightful?
Oh, funny story. I made the acquaintance of this gnomish artificer. Very interesting fellow, long-winded. Now, he is... and
How about a name?
yeah, Kane, you are checking around, and you are pretty sure that nobody's watching you. But there's a section of tall steppe grass over to the northwest that you have kind of an icky feeling about. Like if somebody were to try and sneak up on you, they'd probably come out of there.
Is it far away?
It's probably about 200 feet away from where you guys are set up.
But I can't sense anybody.
Doesn't seem like there's anybody there. No.
Do you recall the name of this gnome artificer?
Oh, it started with a J. Can't recall the
Jan
name.
Janssen! It's Jan Janssen!
No, that doesn't sound right. I'm just terrible with names. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's all right. I was merely curious. Did you say that out loud?
He's bellowing it over in the direction.
No, I didn't say that.
That's what he says when he finds things.
Jan Janssen.
I'm going to, as Triss and I are sort of looking around, I'm going to point out that, and I'm just going to keep an eye on that area as we go
Fair enough.
through.
I believe we are well enough alone, and I would like to hand her the last letter that Ilya wrote her that she never received.
Oh, okay.
Did we read that or no?
Yeah.
Oh, you read it. Yeah, that's the
Was
one.
it sealed?
It was not sealed. It
Okay.
was. It was.
Like about to.
It was.
Was spicy?
It was waiting on something before it was sent.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. We just don't know if.
This one talks about the Yaga and
Yeah. And an item.
deep
And an
earth.
item. Yeah, this is. Oh boy, this town sure seems like it might be in trouble.
Yeah.
Here's a thing. You didn't find a thing.
Correct.
Right.
I
Right. And
remember
then, yeah.
that.
And I'm going to tell. And unfortunately, I know that this letter is difficult for you to see, but whatever was spoken of, the trinket, was not anywhere in possession or in the room.
No, I would expect not.
But
He dealt with the Yaga once before, and it cost him greatly. He confided this in me.
Can you tell us more about this Iaga?
He was careful not to mention too much about it. He worried that my involvement would put me in danger. So you are aware of my relationship with the late Fira, then?
indeed.
Never do that again. It
No judgment,
is
sister. I'm with you.
complicated.
No,
But
given the political atmosphere that we find ourselves in this town, I can appreciate that. But his feelings were very, very real.
they felt real. And I thank you for bringing me this letter. I can only hope that what happened to him isn't a result of his dealings with the Yaga on my behalf.
Did he mention what he thought was happening? There's a lot of things that are
He's
alluded
alluding to a great deal of... He was always private about the concerns of the town. I think he felt it inappropriate to discuss them with me in too much detail, though he did occasionally come to me for advice in dealing with the Thayan community. He tried to maintain a distance, but I could tell that in the latter parts of his life he was growing increasingly concerned. He came to me for comfort more and more often in the last few months, and then stopped after a while. I hadn't heard anything from him in the last week or so until you brought me this letter.
I believe he was ill before he died, and I imagine that is why he did not come to you in the later days. He did, as you said, did not want to risk.
Well, and perhaps ill naturally and supernaturally.
That would explain it. I miss him.
As most do in this community we have gathered.
He was a well thought of man.
He was. There's not perhaps 1 in every 10 people with authority are deserving of it. He was always kind to those who lacked other options.
Do you know what he was going to give you? What that item was? So we can.
I couldn't guess. I knew nothing of the matter. I apologize. He was apparently very secretive.
When you say that explains it, you mean that he was ill? Or
Yes.
were there signs before that?
His last visit, he looked very tired. I asked him about it. He brushed it aside. But then I didn't see him for quite some time.
Ghosted you, as it were.
Oh, that's tasteless.
She's brought us out to this really nice hill.
My underdogs are showing.
She starts idly messing with the eyepiece of the telescope.
Curious, is the grass to the east, like the opposite way of that she's pointed that telescope?
No, it's in the same general direction. It's like sort of northwest of where you guys are.
Okay. Not like we are purposefully putting our backs
Not like we're purposely putting backs to it, no.
Okay, good. We're not.
Do you know much about his heir at all?
Young Vlad is a challenging boy.
We've gathered.
He is...
A little touched to the head, I think.
There are some men that come into power by virtue of their deeds, by virtue of their wit, and some by virtue of their birth. And those that come into power by virtue of birth are, in my experience, seldom the equals of their fathers. I wouldn't dare speak ill of our new Lord Fira, but I do worry for the town's future.
Did you have a lot of interactions with him at all?
Very little. I met him once or twice at dinner. He was instructed to be polite. His father had a way of calming him, making him presentable. The boy is... I had hoped he would learn. I had hoped he would learn more from his father before he passed.
Yeah, it is quite.
He is young. There is a chance, but I would say from first impressions, if I may be candid, this town is screwed.
I think that perhaps challenging times are ahead for Mir. I can only hope that I may have some stabilizing influence on matters. Ah. She's looking into the eyepiece of the telescope.
Yes.
Excellent.
I believe I found something interesting. Would you count them for me?
Interesting in the stars. Yeah, sure.
So you look at the patch of sky that is visible through the telescope. You're just seeing stars for the moment. But then you see, well, kind of like a flaming arrow or bolt of some kind. Sort of streak past, not toward you, not toward the telescope, but like through the area of sky that you can see through the telescope. You count 4 of them.
4 of the streaks?
Yep.
Oh, yes, these streaks here that are streaking across the sky. I believe there's 4 of them.
4? Oh my goodness. Kane, person watching the tall grass, could you make me a perception check?
Does this happen often in the sky?
Oh, not usually that many, but
Oh boy.
I'm sure we'll make do.
Oh boy. Make do for what?
That's a 19.
A 19. There are definitely people in the tall grass. Is he having a stroke?
I believe
We're not alone.
he may be.
Making do with what? What do you mean?
No, indeed not. She starts walking toward the grass.
Wait, what?
It's the trap.
Hold on there.
Hopefully there's no need for that.
Where are you going? What are you doing?
She's stargazing. She heads toward the tall grass, and after a few moments, a large, hulking man in heavy armor, with a whip folded at his side, emerges, and the two begin speaking.
What's going on here?
Can I would like to make some sort of cat ear perception check.
Oh yeah, you've got those good cat ears. You know, it's easy to eavesdrop. The man at least is making no effort to keep his voice down.
Oh, cool.
They look like. What is the body language saying?
Great. Helm is
Well, the man appears.
I rolled 1.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, screw you, Helm.
you got a little tinnitus from
Yeah.
your experience with the weasel.
Yeah.
Kane, you have seen a lot of burly, I'm the boss of this gang kind of folks in your life as a mercenary. Although you're not sure exactly how many because of reasons. But you get everything that your grizzled mercenary senses are telling you is that there is this guy has something that Atoya wants, and he knows it. And you are pretty sure you are witnessing a shakedown.
Wait. Like he's shaking down her?
Yeah.
So it's not civil over there.
What's going on here? Hey. She
Hey,
didn't
break this
seem
up.
very plussed about this. I'm just like.
Are you stepping in?
Are you going to step in, my
What's
friend?
happening?
How far away are they?
They are about 150 feet away.
Okay.
We get involved? What's going on?
I don't know.
Protecting this
Why
lady?
would we get involved?
Because they're about to take her. She's. He's like. Yeah, I'm gonna walk over
We
there.
should
and be
never
like,
have let that weasel borrow you.
Like, no, see here. I say.
So as you get closer, you are able to make out more of particularly what the big burly guy is saying.
Fair.
It's like, yeah, we brought him for you. 25 of them. However, it recently came to my attention that, this little community you've got here isn't exactly on the up and up with the Zulkers. You know,
Follow Kane.
Is this guy like a wizard also? Like a red wizard?
He's wearing heavy armor. You're pretty sure he's not a wizard.
But he's not is he Thavian?
Actually, roll Arcana. Or History if that's better for you.
Me. Arcana or History? What's better? History. They're the same. It's 12.
12. Okay, so this man does also have head tattoos. His head is not shaven, but you see a couple of stylized markings on his face that remind you of Xanthus's tattoos.
All right. Is she tattooed as well?
She is not.
She's not. Okay. Yeah. Is that generally male, female?
Not really. The female red wizards also get tattoos.
But she's Thavian, just not a red.
Yeah, she doesn't appear to have been involved with. Apparently there are certain professions where you're expected to have the tattoos.
Yeah. All right.
What's going on here, Kane?
25 something. I don't know. Excuse me. We're with the lady. Can I help you?
Well, you can help me by turning your pockets out. As I was just saying to the lovely Thavian gentlewoman here, I'm afraid I've incurred considerable expenses in bringing these refugees out. If we're going to keep it quiet from the Zulkers, and from the rush many people who are living in this little town of yours, I'm going to need some compensation to cover that.
For what now?
I'm sure you weren't already paid. I'm sure you were.
The gentleman was paid. I believe I understand what you are asking, good sir, and I think I have what you're looking for right here. She reaches down to a pouch and brains him across the face with a maze. And we are gonna roll some initiative next time on PeakD&D.
I like your style.
The plot thickens, folks, and we will see you next week. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good one.